This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 11 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and welcome to From the Archives, an occasional series I've created for those of you either new to the channel or who may otherwise have missed videos we've done, of which I'm particularly pleased. Today, it's a conversation Claudia and I recorded more than 7 years ago at the International Center of Photography in New York with legendary photographer and dry wit Elliott Erwitt. Whenever you see me looking off camera, I'm looking at Claudia. We fell a little bit in love with Elliott because of his work, his origin story, that wit, and this conversation. A small signed print by him sits in a place of honor on our mantle. Our time with him became poignant not only because I believe this was the last appearance by Elliott of its kind, but because just weeks after we were in Wetzlar to celebrate Elliott's induction into Leica's Hall of Fame, he left this mortal coil. I think we are all the poorer for it. Hey everybody, I'm Hugh Brownstone for Three Blind Men and an Elephant, and I am honored, privileged, and just delighted to welcome you to our next episode of What Were You Thinking? In this case, with Elliott Erwitt, one of the greatest 20th century photographers ever. So, Elliott, thank you for joining us here today.
You do this at your own risk.
We are here in the International Center of Photography's museum down on the Bowery, which is very hip in and of itself. And we are at Elliott Erwitt, Pittsburgh, 1950. This is a series of photographs, Elliott, that you took. Can you tell us what were the circumstances surrounding this particular project? Chapter 1, Elliott shoots for the Farm Security Administration.
There was a project headed by Roy Stryker, famous for his Farm Security Administration photographs of the 30s and 40s. And it was to document the old Pittsburgh, which was being torn down at the point where the two rivers meet to form the Ohio River. And a new Pittsburgh was going to be built there. There was a team of about 10 photographers. I was one of them.
Chapter 2, Elliott works on the project, but then life throws him a curveball.
I did not stay very long with this project because I was drafted into the Army at that time, but I did spend 4 months just walking around the streets, taking pictures, snaps. And these pictures were left behind when I was drafted and recently uncovered by Vaughan Wallace.
You thought they were gone?
I didn't think anything. He just came up with them. And so we looked further and saw that there was maybe something worthwhile to be printed, and negatives were provided, prints were made, and this is the result, or part of the result. The result is a book called Pittsburgh 1950, which is the time that these pictures were taken.
Chapter 3, Elliott's time as a soldier. So you were drafted for the Korean War.
I was drafted for the Korean conflict, so-called, but I was lucky. I did not go to Korea. I went to Europe.
And what did you do in Europe?
What did I do in Europe? Not much. I think nobody does much in the Army unless there's a fight going on or a war going on, and there wasn't one at the time.
Chapter 4, what was Elliott thinking in Pittsburgh? When you were in Pittsburgh, what struck you about the city? What were you trying to do? What were you thinking about as you roamed the city for 4 months?
My mind was a blank. I think taking pictures when you have no restrictions and no assignment is an ideal situation. You don't want to have anything in mind. You just react to what you see. And this was that kind of assignment.
Chapter 5. A decisive moment kind of photographer? You are often characterized as a Cartier-Bresson decisive moment kind of photographer. How does that sit with you?
Well, to be compared or to have some association with Henri is very flattering indeed. If there's a bit of truth in that, I'm happy. And otherwise, I think it's an exaggeration.
Chapter 6. How Elliott decided to become a photographer. How did you get involved in photography in the first place?
I got involved in photography because at some point in your life, you have to decide what you're going to do to be a useful member of society. And that seemed to be a good possibility to me. To be able to be your own boss, not to have a structure. And I liked photography.
Chapter 7. Who influenced this decision? Hint. Not who you might think. Who were your influences that led you to that decision?
I don't know that I had any influences. Maybe my next door neighbor or my dentist. I remember taking pictures of my dentist.
Dentists and photography, they kind of go together. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, they buy expensive materials.
Yeah.
Yeah, like us.
Chapter 8. Elliott's cameras. What kind of cameras did you shoot with?
I started with a plate camera.
Wow. A 4x5?
4x5, yeah.
But at least they were dry plates. You're not that old.
No.
Okay.
Went on to a Rolleiflex and then eventually a Leica. Always film, of course, in those days anyway.
Chapter 9. Elliott shoots black and white because? Did you find that you preferred shooting with black and white, or was it immaterial?
At that time, there was no choice.
And later on?
Later on?
Chapter 10. Thoughts on digital photography.
Digital photography is not interesting for me. It's a way of fulfilling assignments in an efficient way, but it's not what I'm interested in. I do it because of my profession, but black and white film photography is what I'm interested in.
Chapter 11. Does Elliott do his own film developing and printing? Is it because, well, let me ask you, did you develop the film yourself or would you hand it off?
Initially, of course, I did everything myself. Later on, no, I still do everything myself.
You have your own darkroom?
I've always had my own darkroom. Sometimes I just supervise another printer in my darkroom, but I've always had a darkroom.
Chapter 12. Why film? Is there something about the image itself, or is it something about the workflow? What is it about film that makes it still interesting to you and digital uninteresting to you?
Maybe it's just I'm lazy. I grew up with film and didn't really see any reason to change, except for convenience.
Chapter 13. When Elliott does use digital, you say that you still take photographs and that you use digital now.
I use digital only for assignments now. And in my old age, I don't have too many assignments.
Chapter 14. The weather. What else do we want to talk about now?
The weather?
Yeah. How you like those Yankees? Talk about that too.
I don't know anything about the Yankees.
Neither do I.
but I know something about the weather. It's good today.
Chapter 15. Elliott's Advice to Aspiring Photographers. Is there any advice that you would give aspiring photographers today?
I don't know, take pictures, take good pictures. Stay away from conceptual photography. Observe rules of composition and be curious and even be boring, but be traditional.
In what way traditional?
Photography is a craft. It's not using your telephone necessarily, although maybe it could be in certain situations.
Chapter 16. My pet theory goes down in flames. It's interesting because I have this pet theory. Maybe I'll ask you to take a judgment on it. My pet theory is that if Cartier-Bresson were a 20-year-old today, he'd be using a smartphone as his camera. What do you think?
I don't think so. No. You can't compose very well with a telephone.
Chapter 17. I'm reminded it's time to wrap up, but I wish I could spend a whole day with Elliott. He's a witness to history. He's part of history. He recorded history for us. I think I fell a little bit in love with him, as I sometimes do with people I shoot. Well, Elliott, I want to thank you so much for taking the time with me. I think, guys, if you have the opportunity, really, you owe it to yourselves to see a mid-century master photographer's work. Quite extraordinary. For Three Blind Men and an Elephant at the International Center of Photography Museum in New York, I'm Hugh Brownstone. 20 minutes earlier, unbeknownst to either of us, Claudia was rolling. If you're amenable, I'd like to get your whole story. And if you just want to talk about photographs, I'm happy to do that too.
I don't like to talk about anything.
Oh, we are hosed. We are so hosed. If you like what you've seen here today, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, join the conversation in the comments section below. You guys are just so sharp and so generous. Just wow. Share, create a playlist, consider supporting our work by using our no-cost-to-you affiliate links down below, or making a contribution directly via the PayPal link down below. As always, we thank you for it. For Three Blind Men and an Elephant, I'm Hugh Brownstone. See you next time. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. From custom domains to beautiful websites using their easily customizable templates that you can have up and running in minutes, e-commerce, email and email marketing, SEO, analytics, and scheduling, Squarespace does it all and has done it for us for the last 11 years. If you are a small to mid-sized business in any industry, Squarespace is the place to go for all of your website needs. Hop over to www.squarespace.com/Hugh for a free trial. And if you like what you see and want to move forward, receive 10% off your first order by using the discount code Hugh at checkout. Thanks, Squarespace.